Welcome, welcome, welcome to the MasterMind Library. They call me Ferdinand, the bringer of balance, leader of many disciplines, and the host of the MasterMind Library, the home of the MasterMind Book Club. We've reached episode 39, and we've been diving deep into Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. Amazing material up in here. Last episode, we dived into chapter 2, which is the first gateway, gateway 0. Gateway 0, the sacred womb. Today we'll be going into chapter 3, which is the spirit of the womb, and we're going to go ahead and get started. As y'all know, normally I would have a PDF or a digital book up on the screen, but I don't have a digital version of Sacred Woman, so we're gonna have to roll with the printed version. All right. So if you got the book, definitely follow along if you can. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Chapter 3, the spirit of the womb. The sacred womb journal. My sisters, we've been asleep. It's time for the womb wake-up call. Sound the alarm through sacred womb journal work. It may hurt a little bit, but it's going to be all right. Believe me, we will get safely to the other side, where self-healing dwells. Sacred womb journal work is a way to demonstrate to yourself that you don't want to carry the pain anymore, that you're willing to give it up because you've allowed it to speak. There's been too much pain, too much to bear. And the irony is that so much profound healing happens as soon as we're willing to acknowledge and listen to the voice of the womb. The Sacred Mother's waiting hand has been outstretched as she says, I am here. Just give your pain to me. And you kept saying, no, thank you. I've got to hold on to it. I've got to hold on to it. I've got to keep holding on to it, even if it kills me. And then it begins to, with womb cancer or hysterectomies or radiation therapy, all caused by holding on to our hurts and pains. So many things have been done to our womb without our conscious awareness. And some things were indeed conscious acts. A lot of things that happened in our lives were just the result of pure ignorance, action performed by those who knew no better. However, now, for us to grow and heal together, we have to be willing to risk exposing our ignorance of ourselves and any others who share our experiences in some way, so that we can all learn by sharing our experiences with another. Another purpose of sacred womb journal work is as a tool to ground and center you in yourself. Centering into the womb means being able to look at our relationship with our body. We must start at the center, for developing a healthy womb is the platform from which we develop a healthy body. From the center, we learn not to put our brain above our body any longer. We learn not to dumb ourselves to our real physical condition any longer. We learn to use every womb experience as a medium for growth. When we are disconnected from our wombs, for whatever reason, then we are not fully able to have an intimate interchange with another. Then the art of sharing love from your very center is compromised. For if you cannot share from your center with yourself, then it is impossible to really share it in union with one another. It is helpful to discuss these issues with the women in your circle, such as sisters or friends, not only for yourself, but to help prevent the suffering of others. As medicine women born again, we must use everything as medicine. Everything in our life is here to help us, to give us strength and empowerment. Hearing other women's womb stories makes you ask yourself, what am I going through? That's your medicine, your story, and it's our medicine. The stories that we share. It's absolutely never too late to reconnect with your womb, your sacred center, and to become a lover and a friend to yourself. In order to heal or rejuvenate our sacred center, we must first know what lies deep inside. The Sacred Womb Journal helps us to get comfortable with our wombs so we can get on the road of cleansing, purging, and rejuvenation. It aids in identifying our intuitive womb concerns so that later we can assess our level of womb wellness and begin to actively heal ourselves. For the liberation of our womb related afflictions, let's visit that exiled part of ourselves, the down there part, as so many women refer to the womb center. You don't need to get a passport sometime way in the future to visit down there. Your sacred womb journal will help you take part in a daily loving womb ritual that allows you to blossom into the beautiful lotus that you are by nature. The voice of the womb. When I was discussing dialogue with the womb in a circle of sisters, one of them asked me, "Does a womb have a voice? And if so, how does it speak?" The womb does have a voice, I told her. The womb has a language all its own, and yes, it does speak. Sisters, go within the heart of your womb in your daily meditation and listen well. Your womb desires to speak through you. Your womb will tell you what she needs. Your womb will tell you where she's going and where she's been. She will tell you how she wants to heal. The womb misses nothing. She knows all. The womb records every event of our lives. She records all of our interactions and reactions within our relationships. She senses our misgivings and receives all of the loving. The womb never forgets the lessons or the blessings. As we enter into the depths of our womb, we will discover that our womb remembers and is prepared to speak to us of every fear and every joy. The womb has a language all her own. The womb sings and moans. When she speaks of pain, tumors grow. When she speaks of pleasure from the interaction of a nurturing mate, love grows. The womb sometimes says yes, but oftentimes she says no. When she exults, babies are born. When she yells and screams, the blood clots. Listen closely to your womb. Learn her language. Heed her message. Let your sacred womb journal become the interpreter between you and the voice of your own womb. It's time to go deep into our wombs. Be courageous. Don't be afraid of your truth coming forth, for truth is the foundation through which healing takes place. If at any point in your sacred womb journal exploration you experience blockage and are unable to hear or feel your womb, then just sit back and place your palms over your womb area a few inches below your navel. Breathe deeply and relax. Tell her gently not to be afraid. In time, the voice of your womb will be reassured and feel safe enough to speak. Never force the issue. All things come in their own right time. The more you cleanse, the better and easier the communication will get. Begin your sacred womb journal work over a 3-day weekend, 7 days, 21 days, a season, a year, or for the rest of your life. Remember, your womb is alive and you need to stay in touch. However, if you miss a day or a week of your sacred womb journal work, it's okay. Don't be discouraged. Keep right on going. The more time you put into your sacred womb journal reflections, the deeper your discovery and recovery. Your womb is a treasure chest waiting to be explored, so open it up. See what intuitive gems of wisdom await you as you discover yourself by bringing what's inside out. Waking up the womb. Your sacred womb journal can be a tremendous aid in helping you reconnect to yourself because it awakens you to the body, mind, spirit, and womb connection. It encourages an inner dialogue that helps you examine your life in a new, deeper way. Your sacred womb journal will help you explore the life of your womb and give you a better understanding of who you are and what you have become. In order to heal and rejuvenate your womb center, you must first know what is deep inside. Journaling helps us get on a roll of cleansing, purging, and rejuvenating the womb. It helps us to be comfortable with our wombs by helping us to identify our womb concerns so that we may actively heal ourselves. Once we identify what is out of balance, we can do something about it. Until then, it's just nameless pain. Relax and let go. Close your eyes and ask your womb to tell you what she feels. Just get out of the way and trust her to speak. Once you're connected, you might want to repeat your nut meditation to make a deeper connection to your sacred seat. See page 29. While in this state, allow Nut, the heavenly sky mother who dwells within you, to pour her healing force in your womb to revitalize her. The more you allow your womb to speak, the more light shines through. How the Sacred Womb Journal work came through. I want to share something very intimate with you. One night I was happy and excited about a lecture I'd heard, so I kept talking about it to my mate. I talk a lot at home. It's constant talking, and he listens. Then I went to lie down, and we were still talking. And you know what he did. He took a pretend microphone, pointed it at my womb, and said, "Now, would you ask your womb to tell me why you don't want to be touched by your womb?" And he tried to touch me there, and I laughed. "That's what you always do," he said. I realized he was right. That whatever that whenever he would touch my womb, I would laugh. But when I started to think about it, I said, "Well, at the beginning of the relationship, you would touch me, but you used to sing to me more. You used to play the guitar. You recited poetry. That would open up my heart center, and it would open up my womb and open up my trust and all my intellect." But I knew that was only part of the truth. Then he said, keeping the mic pointed at my womb, "Well, can the womb speak?" I told him that she can say anything she like. I didn't know what she might say, but my sense was that she didn't like the way people touched her. I took a deep breath and said to my womb, "Speak." And she began to speak through me. She spoke through my memories of when I had my second child. That time was all a fog to me because some of it was very traumatic. But my womb remembered it all. My doctor was there when I went into labor. You're in labor, but your doctor doesn't report in until you're about to deliver. I thought she was going to be right there the whole time. Instead, there was this male European doctor who checked me out and examined me, and I felt like dying. Oh God, I thought, what's he going to do? I didn't even want to be there because I felt like I was going to jail instead of going into the hospital. I'd been on the healing path for years, but I still hadn't cleansed sufficiently for my womb to be in a healthy enough state to have a natural birth. This doctor made me put my feet up in these cold stirrups, and then he pushed my hand away, way up inside me. And then he pushed his hand way up inside me. When I jumped back, he said, "I bet you didn't do that when you got pregnant." The tears came pouring down my face, and I was as tense as a board. I started pulling the little band off my wrist, ready to leave. I was in my 20s then, and my family always told me I was too sensitive. I kept hearing my family say, "Listen to the doctor, he knows best." So I'm looking up at the ceiling, thinking, I have to submit to this. I felt like I was at death's door. In order for me to relax, I had to die. I had to leave my body there for that doctor to touch. When he was finished, I was never the same. The experience buried itself deep inside my womb. And then my woman doctor came. She was a nice doctor, but she ran through all the laboring women there like an assembly line. There were all kinds of womb conditions, pain, cramping, everything going on. She got to me and said, "Okay, put your feet up. So how are you feeling?" And I said, "Oh gosh, I want to die right here." And she really didn't hear me. The next thing I knew, she had me in surgery for another cesarean. This is what made me so committed to healing my womb, because I told myself I can treat my own womb sweeter, with greater reverence, and with greater respect. I went to study about everything natural that we can do to heal our wombs and prevent a future womb problem or a future womb relationship that would make me shut down further. Then I realized we also have to look at our relationships and emotional responses. I thought about my relationship with my former husband at that time. It had been a total trauma to me. And of course, it had ended in a divorce. It was all that unloving, uncaring touching of my womb that had made me so defensive and self-protective. Even now that I've finally found a man who is kind and gentle, I find I'm still having trouble when my womb is touched. But I'm laughing. I'm being nice by laughing. That time, though, I told him about my bad experiences, and we talked about it all. Then he said, "Now I understand. For 7 years, I never quite understood what was happening. And then I started holding him and hugging him while he explained to me how he felt, how he had related to my sensitivity and emotions. It felt as if we had started all over again, like everything was brand new between us, like spring. Then suddenly, my husband began to rock me and sing to me like a poet, and my womb broke out into a wondrous smile. It was because he decided to interview my womb that we got so clear about the whole touching issue. The unhealed womb, preparing for your sacred womb journal work. As poet Langston Hughes said so powerfully in A Dream Deferred, does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? This is a good description of an unhealed womb. If we don't relate to our wombs and resolve our inner womb conflicts, the spirit of the womb dries up and we are numbed, or the womb releases a stench because we are bitter, or it's crowded out by a tumor or destroys our creativity. Worse, it can fester and drip and create even more serious diseases that cause our wombs to rot and then be lost through hysterectomy. To heal our wombs, we need to be willing to go deep into the memories that our wombs retain. We must be willing to return to the scene of the crime or the pleasure and meet the ones who insulted, abused, outraged, or misused our wombs, or the ones who have been kind, respectful, loving, and gentle to our wombs. We need to tell ourselves, if this is what is it's going to take to heal, so be it. The next step is to call upon our inner guidance by meditating and contemplating. We need to ask Mother Ast for her help as we find ourselves returning to the place we thought was behind us forever. As we walk through this painful place, we'll discover how mistaken we were when we thought that if we turned away, it would all be over and done with. In actuality, we never leave that place inside us, not until we heal it once and for all. Otherwise, the situation plays itself out in our lives again and again. The suffering may change its cast and or its cast of characters or location, but it's still the same suffering. When I first entered that place in myself, when I got to the very core of my womb, my center, I found myself in a conflict. There were two of me fighting over what to do. One part wanted to run away. One part wanted to finish the work once and for all. It's beginning to hurt. Oh no. Come on, girl, just breathe. It's too much. I gotta go. I don't wanna know. Girl, you've been brave to come so far. Just keep breathing in love and healing and breathing out all that pain and fear. It's too hard. It's a lot harder to keep carrying that load of pain. Well, I know I have to get to the bottom of my womb dilemmas. We can do it, and we can do it. We're a born again healer. The more I communed with the deeps of my womb, the stronger I got. Tears rolled, but I didn't budge. This is how the answers to my questions began to be revealed to me. And I was encouraged to keep going because I could feel a blanket of soulful healing comforting me. So I told my fearful self, come on, girlfriend, don't shut down. Don't quit. Let's explore those deep, dark, hidden places in our womb that we haven't wanted to look at. But it hurts too bad. I feel so sad. Come, I'll hold your hand. Okay, if I go within, can you help me soothe the hurt? 'Cause my womb just might lose control and about and scream because of what is locked down there. That place is a mystery, even to me. Come, I'll help. If we do it together, it won't be so hard. Our womb, body, mind, heart, has been longing to help us heal ourselves so we can return to our natural state of wellness and wholeness. The womb as spiritual center. The physical womb or uterus is located in the pelvic region and is sheltered by the ovaries and the fallopian tubes. The most sacred female organ of reproduction is hollow and pear shaped and lies on top of the bladder. The uterus is composed of three layers. Beginning at the innermost layer, we have the endometrium, the myometrium, and the parametrium. The uterus also has two parts, a body and a cervix. The body of the uterus extends from the top of the organ to its narrow outer end, the cervix. To find your own womb, sit quietly with your eyes closed on cushions on the floor, tailor fashion or upright in a comfortable chair with your feet on the floor, legs uncrossed. Relax and just be for a minute or two. Now rub your palms briskly together, and when you have built up continuous heat in your hands, press them right over your womb. You will find it between your navel and your pelvic girdle, between your fallopian tubes and your ovaries. Remember, the womb is not the vagina. Let your hands feel the presence of your womb, the spirit of your sacred seat. Allow the inner seat to pass from your hands to your heart and into your womb. Be still. Focus your attention within and feel your womb energy. Now, open your eyes and sit quietly within your divinity. Sit with yourself as a sacred queen. Know that we are all divine. The spiritual aspect of the womb in the body is seen as an arit, the original Kemetic word for spiritual energy center or gateway. The Aritu, plural, or are also referred to as the chakras, the seven basic subtle energy centers of the body. The womb arit corresponds to the second chakra, representing the aspects of procreation, inspiration, and family. If a womb is damaged in any way, if it has experienced heavy menstrual bleeding or PMS, if it has sustained numerous infections, fibroids, or tumorous growths, if the womb area has been cut or bruised, irradiated, or chemically sprayed, if it has experienced invasion or abuse by a sexual partner, if it has been harmed by abortions or a hysterectomy, then a woman's level of creativity and inspiration, stability, success in relationships, fertility levels, and joy are potentially impaired. The womb arit is governed by the moon and thus the ocean tides, representing the element of water, which so deeply affects our emotional tides. This is why, as women, we're so positively affected by all water rituals and healings. In the sacred woman teachings, you will learn that you can bless and drink one glass of water and transform your negative disposition back to balance. Try it. You'll be surprised. You can shower under your bathroom's waterfall, inhaling the blessed negative ions from a cool shower spray. Or you can bathe in the ocean, walk in the rain, take a salt bath in your private hydrotherapy room. Do not use any salts if you have high blood pressure or edema. Fast on live juices and water, or wear shades of blue and white, the colors of water. Any one of these water works will amazingly reconnect you with your sacred woman self and restore your beautiful, natural, forgiving, overstanding womb state. This in turn will spin the energy of your womb chakra in the natural clockwise motion of an arit in the netter to in netter Ma'at, divine right order. Meditation and prayer for the womb. Let's begin the following meditation by sitting upright in a chair, feet flat on the floor, palms facing up. Now close your eyes and relax. Take a deep inhalation into your womb and long exhalation out through your nose. Inhale again, reaching into your womb center, into reaching into your womb deeper and deeper, sending love and light to your sacred seat. Now exhale all stress from your womb. Inhale deeply once more. And this time, as you breathe out, exhale all negativity, everything that blocks you from your blessings and keeps you from your good. Take another deep inhalation into your womb and a long exhalation out. Breathing into the womb and out again allows her to open to this prayer. My womb decrees protection and peace as I inhale deeply into my sacred seat, the gateway of all life on earth, the gateway of all creativity and power, the gateway for all transformation and change. I release all that is blocking me from your message, your strength and energy, your balance, your harmony. You must always be open in your spirit because, as women, our strength is the spiritual realm. You know, we always feel things from our wombs. We make our decisions from there. When your womb is shut down, you're cut off from your intuition, your mother wit. We have to keep our womb wisdom wide open or we get lost. How many times have you said, something's telling me, or I've got a gut feeling? This is one of the reasons Sacred Woman came to be. So that as we heal our sacred seats, we heal our knowing. That's the power of being a woman. You know it all. It's inside of you. And the more that you cleanse and acknowledge your divinity, the more that truth begins to come out. You have all the medicine in you to heal yourself. You're made up of 5 key elements that rule the universe: spirit, air, fire, water, and earth. Those are the elements that are inside your holy body temple. Those are the elements that are outside in the world. Those are the elements that are in your kitchen laboratory, where you heal the womb of your mind, the womb of your heart, and the womb of your sacred seat. The emergence of the Sacred Womb Journal questions. The questions for the Sacred Womb Journal came through intuitively, but not until I'd done a lot of cleansing. It took me a month of baths and putting on clay packs. Then some days the questions would come, but they'd be disjointed. Finally, it all started to take on a form and a shape, as if somebody were actually working through me. I believe the spirit of Nut saw me and said, "This is how I want you to do it as you create your womb profile. This is how it's going to work for you." So, what I ask of you is to be as honest with yourself as you can. Some womb questions you might want to share with anyone. There may be some things in your womb life that are just between you and your Most High. That is your privilege and your honor. Just try to be at peace with yourself, with whatever you're feeling, with whatever hurts your feelings. When you share this with yourself, you can become closer to yourself and begin to flush out and wash out and start all over again in contact with the higher spirit of your womb. This is waking up the womb. When we disconnect from our wombs for whatever reason, then we're not fully able to have an intimate relationship with another person. This compromises our ability to share love from our very center. For if we cannot share from our center with ourselves, then how can we share it in a union? It's absolutely never too late to recapture your womb and become a lover and a friend to yourself. Unpin those blocked, painful emotions. Forgive yourself. Bless your womb. Let go from the depths of your womb. Listen to the voice of your womb throughout your meditation and throughout your day's activities. You may get a message during the day just by drinking your womb tea. You may get a message when you wake up because the first mind, the first spirit that comes through you in the morning is the answer to your womb question that you put into your mental computer earlier. You might have asked, "Why am I so angry about my vagina?" Or, "When I looked at my womb in the mirror, why didn't I think it was beautiful?" You don't have to find an answer when you ask the question. Just go to sleep. When you wake up, it will come to you. And although you may not know how to heal from that condition, you'll go ahead and take your bath anyway. You'll drink your tea. And maybe while you're in that tub, soaking by candlelight, or meditating on the 4 directions and the foundation, it will come to you. You'll get the idea to say this prayer or to work with this color. You'll get an urge to talk to the elder mother or to send a letter to your mother in the spirit. Then you'll burn it with sage so it can go straight into the cosmos. Record your womb feelings as you explore the many avenues of sacred womb work. Really dialogue with your womb when you do your exercises. Talk out loud. Have conversations. Have funny ones or deep, serious ones. Say, girl, why are you always all uptight? You can't do anything when your womb is locked. Girl, why don't you just try to relax? I'm going to work with you. Let me massage you lightly. All right, it's okay to heal. Have a conversation just the way you talk with everybody else around you. You can have a conversation with your breasts or hips. You can say, yes, breasts, I love you. I love your soft roundness. Or, I love these hips, cellulite and all, because they're mine. I got the power to work it out. Please remember, when your womb is in pain, particularly when difficulties or challenges or questions come up, it means your womb wants to speak to you. So begin to breathe deeply. Perhaps you won't hear anything after 4 breaths or 10, but by the time you get through 50 to 100 fire breaths, you will truly hear her voice begin to speak. She's been trying to get your attention. So listen with care and then write down what you hear in your sacred womb journal. You want your womb to recover? You want peace in your womb? You want to attract good men into your womb and around your womb? You want to attract healthy relationships and healthy babies and good high thoughts? Then take time for your journal. Take time for you. Your womb is a treasure chest waiting to be explored. So open it up. You'll find that some questions are more difficult than others. So you'll say, okay, I'm not ready today. I might be ready by the 5th day. And then you may still not be ready. It may take you a few weeks or months to look at that issue. It may take getting away for a few days into nature. But if you make the commitment to your womb, your wisdom will come. Questions and reflections to contemplate in your sacred womb journal work. This is your opportunity to begin a dialogue with your womb, an opportunity to get to know all of who you really are, what you think, how you honestly feel about yourself, relationships, and events, your griefs, fears, and anger, both conscious and hidden, the condition of your womb, and your sense of yourself as a woman. And finally, your hopes, plans, and visions for the future. If this is your first womb dialogue, don't be afraid or nervous because you're about to meet your wisest, most honest, and most loving friend, the one who will never let you down. Your womb remembers everything but does not judge. Even if she has been surgically removed, her indomitable spirit remains intact within you, ready to communicate with you and to support you. To begin, take up your special pen and journal. Sit quietly in your sacred space, preferably after you have done your sacred bath and meditations, and at a time when you know you won't be interrupted for a while. Take several deep breaths and give yourself a minute or two of quiet breathing as you go deep within. Then simply write your initials at the top left of your journal page and ask your womb if she will speak with you. She won't refuse, but do her the honor of asking. For her reply, simply write, my womb, at the left of the next line, and then write down whatever pops into your mind. When nothing more comes, ask your next question. Your exchanges may be long or short. She may have a lot to say or speak only briefly. And the same is true for you. Each session will be different and fascinating and healing for you both. You may feel like working through all the questions here in one long session, or you may want to focus on one or two of the questions at a time and go deeply into what they mean for you. There is no right or way or wrong way. There is only your way. Use the questions that follow to explore your attitudes towards your womb as part of your sacred womb journal work in the privacy of your home. If you choose, You may share your experiences in your sacred womb journal. Things to contemplate. 1. Something you might want to discuss with your womb up front is why you might not have dialogued with her before. 2. Do you feel that talking about your womb is important? Why? Why not? 3. Are you friends with your womb? Why? Why not? 4. How have you silenced your womb? 5. Write about what's going on in your life and how this may affect your attitude toward your womb. What does your womb have to say about all this? Ask her. She'll reply directly and honestly. 6. Have you divorced yourself from your womb and disowned your womb pain? If so, how? What band-aids have you used to cover up your womb pain and your dissatisfaction? Food, drugs, alcohol, work, sex, and so on. 7. How can you develop yourself? Let go of your womb. 7. How can you help yourself? Let go of your womb pain. How do you need to alter your life so that you may heal your womb? Ask your womb about her physical condition. 1. Have you ever touched or felt your womb or vagina beyond washing yourself? 2. What did you feel about her? 3. When you have when you have touched the entrance to your womb or vagina, how did you feel about her? Were you embarrassed? Did you feel at ease? 4. Does your vaginal area have a clean smell? What did you feel about the touch or smell of your vagina area and womb center? 5. Discuss what diseases you feel reflected in your womb. What does your womb have to say about this? 6. Do you feel you've numbed yourself out of feeling your physical condition because you're too frightened to connect? What do you think will happen when you do connect? What wisdom does your womb have to offer about your fears? 7. How many of your friends, associates, and family members have fibroid tumors or other female diseases? Discuss their conditions in detail. Omit their names if you plan to share your journal with others. 8. How many of your friends, associates, or family members have had hysterectomies or mastectomies? Ask your womb about her emotional condition. 1. Knowing that your womb is your center, identify and record the blows that your womb has taken and absorbed. 2. How deep is your womb wound? 3. What are some of the pains you felt in your womb since childhood, your teens, or as a young adult, mother, or elder? 4. How did you feel about your first menstrual period? 5. Describe your first experience of sexual intercourse. How did you feel about it then? How did you feel about it now? How does your womb feel about it? 6. How do you feel about sex? 7. Do you have sex or do you make love? What's the difference? Which do you prefer? Why? 8. Are you sexually aggressive or suppressed? 9. What was your experience in giving birth to your first child and any others? 10. Think about all the men in your life, family, extended family, friends, and lovers, and ask your womb what she thinks of each of them. 11. What do you feel about your sexual orientation? 12. Are you sexually intimate with women? Why? How does it make you feel? How is it different from a relationship with a man? Ask your womb how she feels about your relationships. 1. How do you feel about your present relationship? 2. Who or what is still left inside of your womb? Give names and physical conditions. 3. How many men and what type of men have entered into your womb space? What was each experience like? 4. How were you feeling about yourself, your womb, your life during each relationship? 5. How do you feel when your lover touches your womb? 6. Have you ever had a womb crisis in your life? Write about what you learned from it. How did you attempt to heal yourself? 7. Were your parents sexually abusive with you? How has this affected you? 8. Were you ever molested? Tell your story. How has this affected you? How has it affected your present relationship with yourself and with others? Ask your womb to tell you her version of your womb history. You may find it very enlightening. As you develop an ongoing inner dialogue through your journal work, write down your real feelings. Let your written womb wisdom show you why you keep drawing the same toxic situations into your womb and into your life. Commit to a daily 10-minute morning womb prayer and meditation, followed by your journal work. Go to a quiet, still place within yourself and write in your journal. Give your inner dialogue time to evolve, and you'll find that it will teach you a great deal about yourself and everything you've been carrying around. It will give you an entirely new perspective and understanding of yourself and others. Allow your womb to speak on your behalf as you witness the miracles taking place inside of you and all around you. Womb meditation. After you have explored your womb journal questions, remember to perform the following meditation. Sit quietly in your cushion or in a comfortable chair. Close your eyes. Take several deep breaths as you place your hands over your womb and attune to her. In your mind's eye, see yourself entering into your womb and walking around in her. What do you see and what do you feel now that you've been doing all this internal womb exploration? How's your body feeling? How's your womb feeling now? Scan yourself. Do you feel better or worse? More hurt or less hurt? What is your sense of yourself right at this moment? Affirm. Affirm. My womb and I are loving partners on the path of the sacred woman. Sorry for getting emotional, y'all. I can feel my mother. My conscious introduction to my womb came when I had my first period at age 13. I was totally unprepared for what was to come. The hour after my first issue of blood was the beginning of hell. The hour after my first issue of blood was the beginning of hell on earth for me. The throbbing, thrashing pain in my womb was overwhelming. The throwing up, the cramping, the moaning, the rolling in my mama's bed for comfort went on and on. By nightfall, I had completely lost it. I just wanted to take out my womb. I cried out, and my mother gave me a painkiller that put my womb to sleep. I was numb and lifeless, but I was at least able to breathe, and the pain was gone temporarily. I just could not believe that I and every woman had been sentenced to such agony and would have to learn to live with this each month for 35 days or more. I could have done anything never to experience again what felt like war in my womb. I recall thinking in my young mind, I cannot wait until menopause when all this pain will be over. Little did I know I had to change my entire lifestyle in order to experience peace within my womb, to discover a womb with no pain, no cramping, clotting, pulling, throbbing, or heavy bleeding for 7 or 8 days a month. What a mess. My personal prayer requests for a quiet womb that spoke peace. By the time I was 13 years old, I had stopped eating all flesh and had become a complete vegetarian. That's when I ceased passing clots of blood. At 23, after the birth of my first child, came the true beginning of my journey to womb wellness. I learned to pack mud over my pelvis. The healing properties of the mud seeped into my womb and pulled out my pain. I drank bush tea of red raspberry and dandelion. I placed my legs up against the wall at a 45-degree angle to send healing energy throughout my womb. By the birth of my second child, I had begun drinking green juices every day to strengthen my body temple, and I also began to develop my inner sanctum. Continuing on my journey of womb wellness, by the birth of my third child, I had begun to recite womb prayers for sweet inspiration. I thank the Creator, Creatress, for my renewed sacred attitude about my womb, my sacred seat. I am particularly grateful that through trial and tribulation, I ultimately connected to the womb, to the voice of my womb. Oh. Over the years, that unfailing voice has become my divine protection and guide to a healthier, more vibrant life. Now, you may wonder, with all I was doing, why I had to have 3 cesarean sections. Now, you may wonder, with all I was doing, why I had to have 3 cesarean sections. When I was writing this book, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. I was not proud of it because I started on all this so late. When you've been living in a toxic manner for so long and you're trying to be natural. You can't really be as natural as you like, as quickly as you like, because your body hasn't caught up to where it should be. So my womb wasn't really ready just then. Also, at that time, my body and I were part of mainstream society. I went the route of the status quo from birth to age 18 and 13. I went the route of the status quo from birth to age 18. But that was a blessing. I say every lesson is a blessing. And this one enabled me to go deeper and to begin to heal myself as the prelude, as the as the prelude to my to my initiation as a sacred woman. My experience has made it possible for me to help so many other women not to have to go through what I went through. We all learn from our past and we grow from our past. And we learn that when we share our lessons with others, we can transform them into blessings. And we learn that when we share our lessons with others, we can transform them into blessings. Stories from the sacred womb circle. Maria. As I began my womb journal work, I realized that I had never thought about my womb. I probably was in a state of avoidance from the time my period started. I never had a conversation with my mother because my mother never had a conversation with me, except for the fact that my period started on graduation day. Mother called me at school after the nurse called her and said, "Go to the bathroom and check." And I went. And it wasn't traumatic, it wasn't huge, but it had happened. And when I came home, there was a box of Kotex on my bed. My mother had anticipated this moment, but that was it. That experience informed my teenage years at a time when one just did not talk about these things very much, or people like my mother didn't talk about them very much. She didn't even know what it is you should know, but not to get pregnant. Nothing. Excuse me. She didn't even know whatever it is you should know. How not to get pregnant? Nothing. So I was just sort of there on my own. When that happens and you're a teenager, you're really vulnerable to a lot of things, especially not knowing how to handle relationships. Being someone who always read and loved words, I looked to magazines to fill me in on what I didn't know. At 17, I was always reading those little Kotex ads. They always had questions and answers. That's about as much as I could find out. And of course, when you have relationships knowing so little, you have some pretty traumatic experiences. Mine were not abusive. They were more abusive. They were more self abusive because I had to have an abortion. I remember traveling to New York from Philadelphia because New York was the only place that could find someone to do an abortion. When I think back to the horror of that experience, I don't know why I'm still here. No one told me what to expect. No one ever said, "Okay, you go there, and this happens, and then you go home, and this is what happens after that," which is traumatic. Still, throughout my life, and it's now some 40 years later, I've had a very positive experience with myself and with trying to maintain various degrees of wellness. Naturally, you get off track. You're always going to do better, and you're always not going to have that extra glass of wine and all of this. These are things I'd like to accomplish during my lifetime so I can pass on some wisdom to my daughter. Ironically, my daughter called me yesterday from Tennessee to tell me that she was having this terrible flow of her period. She was just having an awful time. And what should she do? And I said, hang in there. We'll get you some help. She was very scared. She said she hadn't had a period for 3 months. And I said, well, you didn't say anything. Well, why didn't you say anything? She was afraid. She was afraid too. So this will be useful to me and useful to my daughter and useful to my other daughter who was with me every day throughout this ordeal. So that's just a part of the story. Mothers learning and sharing with their daughters in ways that our mothers could never share with us. Kadisha, I almost felt kind of stupid about the fact that I was unconscious about my womb. I started my period when I was 13 and never had cramps or any problems. So I didn't know when it was coming. I didn't know what the cycle days were. Then, when I remarried at 35, I wanted to have more children and it didn't happen right away. So I immediately thought, it must be me. I've never had any problems in the past. So then I went to a fertility workshop, and that's when I learned how many days were in my cycle. I found the whole thing so fascinating. It seems I have a clockwork cycle. I never knew that before. But it became fascinating to me to mark it on a calendar and to know what day it was coming. I think of it as an upsetting thing that I haven't had a daughter, but that is probably a blessing because I think if I hadn't had this occurrence, I still wouldn't know. I've never investigated my womb or anything like that before, and so that's important. I'm a visual artist, and I'm starting to see the situation of the womb and past memory come up in my work. I've been writing about the womb, and I've never done that. One of the things I've said is that I am the womb. I am the continuum, and I am a womb man. I have within my body a memory that goes back thousands of years, and that's what I work with. Angela, I had been in Vermont praying that something healing would present itself to me, but I didn't expect an answer in 24 hours. And not to be sitting here with all of you in this womb circle. I'm a body worker, and all my life I've worked with women, and I've also been a hairdresser for 40 years, and I teach vegetarian cooking. However, in the last year, I've been diagnosed with a fibroid tumor, which I am not the least bit worried about because I have that much faith that I can solve it. It's interesting that after being a vegetarian for 27 years, that I should have a fibroid tumor. I haven't eaten flesh, but I have eaten wrong combinations of food, and my mental state has been in trauma at different times. In Christiane Northrup's book, Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, she spoke of problems that occur within the uterus. She said one of the things that could cause this was a poor relationship with one's mother. I did not have a good relationship with my mother, but by the time she died, I had completed that karma, and it was wonderful. But I was left with unrealized creativity, unrealized relationships, unrealized many things. I really started to look at things. I thought, my God, I've been asleep to my womb. I've been totally asleep. I thought I was so conscious that I could give you 20 minutes on anything to do with Oriental this and that and the other. But where am I? I'm 44 years, excuse me, I'm 54 years old. I got my period when I was 9. I just looked between my legs for a few moments and said, "These tight jeans must be cutting me." I had no idea what was going on. My mom was Caribbean, Puerto Rican, and very, very strict. God forbid should have been God forbid I should have been told about anything that was going on in my body. I had two brothers. I was the only girl child, and I was the youngest. And from there on in, no one ever told me what I needed to know. I recalled that my mother told my dad, "Go get your daughter some Kotex. She's become a woman." I'm this little fat kid and I'm thinking, what am I? A woman now? My only thought was, wow, now I can't kiss. I wanted to kiss, but now I couldn't kiss anymore because, of course, I would become pregnant. I broke all New York records. I was a virgin until I was 25. I proved myself to my mother, but then I said to myself, let me get rid of this before it goes bad. I may have started late, but I made up for it. I was quite promiscuous for 10 years, all bad relationships, attracting all the wrong people because of my toxic condition. Finally, I heard a lecture that totally transformed my life. The speaker said that we absorb every man that we've ever been with, that men want it all the time because they're cleansing themselves through us. We're the absorbers. So I'm walking around with everybody still in me. Then I got the opportunity to stop running around. I had ba- I had a relationship that lasted 8 years. I thought I was fine. Then I found Mr. Perfect. I thought I could become a shaman by injection. It doesn't work. But in the last 2 years, when I had no relations, all of a sudden this part of me pulsates and talks to me. The voice of the womb. My womb talks. I've had visions. That's why I know this fibroid tumor in me is going away. I had visions of my cave being closed off by a temporary boulder. But my womb says, no, 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 no. And that's it. And we say in our affirmations, my womb is healing, and so is my life. Letitia. When my sister mentioned the sacred womb circle, I was surprised and happy because I've been having a lot of womb problems. I've definitely I'm definitely not close to my mother or to any of the women in my family. So I have no one to ask questions about past histories. I've always had regular periods until I was 20, and from then on it went downhill. I would have them 1 month, and then 6 months would pass, then 3 months would pass. I would bleed for one day or never. My husband and I had several miscarriages. My husband and I had several miscarriages, and there came a point where nothing. I went to see several doctors, and they said, "Oh, you're fine." I had a couple of abrasions on my tubes, and they repaired them. And from then on, everything, according to the doctors, was fine. There's nothing wrong with you, they kept saying. So a couple of months ago, probably about November, I came to this point in my life where I said, I'm going to be fine. And I know that everything is going to fall in place. I know I'm going to have a child. And I know my periods will be the way they are supposed to be. And everything in my life, is going to work. Now I'm just at the point where I want to get my womb together, to let everything begin to unroll. I want to love my womb so everything that is possible happens. Bethy, Betty, I've always managed to have a special relationship with my womb. And the thing that I've liked about my period is the the rhythmicity, that it would occur at a certain time. It gave me a chance to learn what happened in that interim, 28 to 30 days. There were certain feelings that would let me know. And I'd say, aha, I didn't need a calendar to know where I was in my circle. I could tell by the way my body felt. And just before my period, if I started feeling real teary, I'd say, let me go get a book. Or, oh God, I need to go and talk with somebody who's going to stroke me or nurture me. And I'd say, but I can't be around so and so because that person's a bit abrasive and I know I'll get my feelings hurt. Unfortunately, I married a man who didn't have that kind of sensitivity. So I started to lose touch with some of that. It wasn't until shortly after my daughter that was born that I realized I had really lost touch with my womb and I had to work at getting it back. I didn't know if any of you had been on birth control pills. Birth control pills disconnect you from feeling your rhythm. They disconnected me from being able to tell where I was in my river. Before that, 14 days after my period, I'd be horny. I'd say, oh shit, I better make sure I have some kind of protection if I'm going to have sex because I'm vulnerable. I knew the cycle. Right after my period, there would be this wonderful time. It was like the sun was out and everything was so clear. Things that I just didn't understand before were now clear. I just loved I just loved it right after my period. Don't make decisions just before your period because you can't sort things out. Your hormones have you going all different ways. But right after your period, that's there's all that light. It was a good time to study because I couldn't sleep. I'd be up the entire 24 hours. I learned to use those kinds of cues, and they were rhythmic. They were predictable, even to this day. Recently, though, I developed fibroids, and that's what made me realize I've gotten out of touch. Then my fibroids went down. In my last examination, my gynecologist simply couldn't understand. Then I developed a walnut sized lesion in my breast, and I've had to go inside again and say something has happened. Some need is not being met. That's when a friend of mine said, you need to go to that group that I told you about. And that's how I got here. I think that where I'm at in my own life right now is that I'm about to be reproductive, not in the biological sense, but in the spiritual sense, a giving, a birthing. So things are beginning to open up, and it requires me to get in touch, not just with my uterus, but with my entire reproductive system. I'm happy to report that the lesion in my breast is now totally gone. In a visualization, I saw that it was my need for nurturing that my breast was calling for, and I needed to meet that need and honor that. And now it's gone. My doctor couldn't give me a theory, but I know how it came about. I started to go in and I started to write. I started to talk to myself and to different parts of myself to understand what those different parts were feeling. And a lot of stuff just started to come up for me. Then I started to do nurturing things that appealed to my sexuality and do nice things for myself. I went out and bought a really beautiful blouse, and that made me feel great. I couldn't believe how good it felt since I usually shop for function. That's what has begun to happen. As I dialogue with my womb, I'm getting in touch with unfed parts of myself. It's a rich discovery, but it's work. It takes a lot of time. Up front, I thought, where am I going to find the time? But when you need to, you find the time. It was a good beginning. And now I think, well, there's something here for me, and I'll just be open until I find it. A sacred womb circle healing a sacred womb circle healing ritual for the wombs of the world. It's painful to remember what your womb remembers. All the things that were said or weren't said. All the weeks go on. You may find your journal filling up with issues and feelings that you've been holding down. But who you are is made up of every one of those experiences that may have been pent up inside until now. And now is when the pain is coming up. And now is when it needs to be felt, really felt. Yes, it's okay to cry because tears make you whole. They are a libation to the spirit, a washing of the soul, a renewal. Whenever I hear the stories the sisters queens share, I often cry inside. And I'm never quite sure if they're my tears for my life or their tears, or a combination of womb tears all over the earth. One of the things that's happening to this planet is that we are bleeding to death. The planet is dying, but we can restore it to wellness by just keeping our womb circles together and being committed to our womb wisdom, a wisdom that can rebirth us all. Strong Black women. How often have you heard that Black women have been made strong because we need our strength to carry on? Well, don't be too quick to buy into that. Recently, they've done a lot of research on melanin and how it holds together and how it holds everything. It holds the good, bad, and indifferent. And the stronger your melanin, the more you will hold emotions, chemicals, toxins. When it's time to let go, other races with less melanin can release these things more easily, but our melanin holds on to all that. When things come up in your journal or in exchanges with your sister friends, you might tell yourself, I can share with my sisters and know I'll be safe. I'm not going to go through any of this, but you will feel it and feel it deeply. So I'm just going to say that I want you to rise as often as you're able while this is going on. Between the hours of 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., that's when your intuitive energy is flowing most strongly. That's when our power is at its peak. And within our ancient Kemetic African legacy, that is when Nebhet appears, the Neteru, who deals with the mystery, that inner voice, that inner dream state where you're able to connect to the source that knows all things. I cry a river of tears that heal. One special and extraordinary powerful ceremony that our sacred circle carried out on behalf of all the wounded women of the world was a healing ritual in which we went deeply into our pain and processed it on behalf of all women, much like Tozaki Nintozaki Shang's choreo poem for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. In this ritual, all the women in the sacred circle act as a chorus. Individual women tell each of the stories, but the entire chorus chants, I cry a river of tears that heal. You can use this basic idea and ask the women in your circle to contribute their own special offerings, praying for deep release and deep healing. I cry a river of tears that heal, for crying is good and tears are holy. Crying creates room for healing to take place. Crying clears our vision so that we can see the inner desires of our heart. Crying releases and unites. Crying flushes out the unnatural and makes space for the mystical. Crying renews and restores and opens us up to all possibilities. Our souls are washed by our tears. Crying humbles us to the ways of the Creator, Creatress. When we cry from our womb so deep, we honor and baptize her, and our wombs is made whole again through the libation of our tears. I cry a river of tears that heal for Ankh Ra, whose mother and grandmother, like many women of color in Trinidad, West Indies, went to the hospital for what they were led to believe was a routine surgical appendectomy, only to have their wombs removed instead. Much time has passed. Much time passed before they found out that they were the victims of a stolen womb, a deceitful tragedy performed by physicians they had trusted with their lives. Neither would ever be the same. I cry a river of tears that heal for the dear young sister who could have been my daughter. She was sexually molested from the age of 7 by her father and her uncle, her father's brother. No one ever seemed to notice what tragedy had befallen this little girl. In the end, years of pain and grief led her to contract cancer of the womb. She died at age 29 from a broken heart and a broken womb. May her soul finally rest in peace. I cry a river of tears that heal for what is known as female genital mutilation, female castration, or female circumcision. All terms used to describe an African tradition of cutting away the clitoris when a young girl is approaching adulthood. In reading of female genital mutilation, I wept, for the clitoris is so sensitive, like a flower. If touched with reverence, it can send you into ecstasy. But a slight blow to the clitoris can send shock waves of infinite discomfort throughout the body. Countless women have endured this castration, where their legs are forcefully parted by the elder women who perform the procedure. This vaginal womb crime perpetuates a tradition that causes agonizing suffering. How can women hurt so deeply? I cry a river of tears that heal for the Negro slave woman, my great-great-grandmother, who was forced to part her thighs for the entrance of a pale pink penis to fulfill her owner's demonic quest to force his way violently into her soft, dark womb, leaving his, pardon me, I can't breathe. I'm still enraged 200 years later. I still hurt. I still breathe. I still bleed. I'm outraged, feeling fear and helplessness for all my great grandmothers who passed their self hate, lack of self esteem, their acceptance of abuse, their internal war down through the bloodline to me. My womb still pains at the thought of the rape of all the women of my race. My grandmother's rape. I scream. My mother's rape. I shout. My auntie's rape. My sister's rape. My daughter's rape. I rape. I cry out in pain. I cry out our pain. I cry a river of tears that heal for all the wombs that could not bear the pain that life inflicts. The wombs that gave up and made their transition. These losses occurred because the keeper of the womb was ignorant in the ways of healing herself. I cry because through the ages, mothers lost the wisdom and confidence that they knew how to heal their own and their daughters' wombs. I cry into my cup of tea, and my tears act as a tonic and release for my soul's ascension. When I think of women's stories of blood-filled pain, the tears from my heart fall like vast waters of the Nile. I hear the unheard story. I hear the unheard voices of these women's wombs, and I cry a river of tears that heal. I cry a river of tears that heal for wombs that carried on after the put downs, the beatings, the rapes, the disrespect, the womb muggings, all causes of planetary chaos reflected in women's debilitated womb conditions. I cry for wombs that carried on after the red flood of days and months of bleeding, and the white discharges, and the grip of the contractions. I cry for the merciful release of wombs rebirthing themselves. I cry a river of tears that heal for the women who carried on after the wars and womb castration and womb scars of incest, oozing with pain, shame, and regret. I cry for wombs that carried on after babies were born. And after babies died inside of the womb, I cry for wombs that carried on after radiation and laser attacks to eliminate the tumors filled with mucus and waste of hate and anger and vexation of the spirit trapped in the womb and the holy zest, the holy nest. I cry a river of tears that heal over men and women to wash away our womb exhaustion. For although we keep on going, although we keep on keeping on, we've had to bear so much through our wombs, it's a wonder we're still standing. Holy Spirit, Oludamer, why it gotta be so hard being a woman? I am the African woman, crying out my pain, screaming and retching rivers of tears from generation to generation. My tears boil up from the bile of plantation slave life here in America the Beautiful. Here, where institutionalized sex factories were brutally imposed upon a stolen people for generations. I cry for the soft wombs and damaged souls of my mothers who were forced to bear babies of rage and incest. They were womb casualties in a 400-year war that damaged them down to their DNA. The wombs go oh so deep within the wombs of the women folk of my tribe. Our wombs still choke and stammer, fight and flee. Mother, help me. I'm praying without ceasing for renewed wombs to bring in a future so bright that they draw themselves respect, gratitude, grace, and love. To women who go on suffering from womb crimes, I say, tighten up your loins and purify and fast and pray until you see a change in every corner of your life, until you see light all about you. My tears honor those wombs that carried us all, that carried on after womb alienation and mutilation, wombs that carried on even after self-inflicted and societal womb violations, wombs that carried on with only one ovary left to fend for itself due to inferior toxicity. I cry a river of tears that may not heal in this generation for the rape of Nanking in China during their World War II Holocaust at the hands of the Japanese. Tears flowed into the lap of a woman whose soul flew away through her womb when all that made her a woman was beaten out of her, as her thighs were tied to each side of a rape chair to be repeatedly attacked by a Japanese soldier, by Japanese soldiers. Tears continue to flow to a joint river for the subhuman soldier who took a metal rod and rammed it through a woman's womb as she lay helplessly naked in the streets of her homeland. Somebody's daughter and somebody's mother go right. Somebody's daughter and somebody's mother go right on suffering, caught up in the flames of war. And will there ever be enough tears to heal the women of Bosnia who were ruthlessly forced to sexually service the soldiers inside of rape camps? A diabolical institutionalized machinery that cranked out wounded wombs and destroyed all possibility of life. I cry I cry a river of tears to heal for our daughters who yearn for peace within their wombs. I cry soul tears of truth and vision, hope and praise for the resurrection of the sacred wombs of the first women. My tears cry a river of healing rays of lapis lazuli, emerald, and energizing malachite as they dance on the vision of newfound, prayed up, purified, joyous wombs, sacred wombs lifted up by us women and protected by our holy men and our good men. This womb vision offers us a bright future, so bright that it sends crystal clear light throughout the land in a tide of deliverance. I cry a river of tears that heal with all the women all over the planet Earth. May our collective tears become pure light and transform into wings that fly our souls, like Heru, the falcon, through a global ocean of redemption to heal and baptize the earth. My Lord, my Creator, Creatress, Mut Ast And Mother Mary, bless all your daughters in the whole world, especially the dark woman of the womb, the eldest mother, Mother Ost, Isis. Protect our wombs throughout our life journey so that we women may age gracefully and beautifully inside of our sacred selves. I cry a river of tears that heal. Now we can roll out of the river and into the healing mud as our womb draws the nourishment from the earth. We face the sun and get charged. We dance by the river and wash our wombs, reborn sacred women, moving into our original divine womb like state. All hail to the mothers who held and nurtured us so that we could be delivered to the planet throughout our constant attentiveness to the great womb. Thank you, Mother, Father, Creator, Creatress. I offer these words in gratitude for keeping us and growing us like tall trees, for loving us and caring for all your ignorant children who may have been deaf to our body's plea and numb to our pain. Dearest Mother, Father, Creator, Creatress, may we all be delivered, encouraged, and inspired to make a massive world womb change. If there is no change in the global attitude toward women's wombs, it will be impossible to find peace on earth. If there is no change, war and slavery and the injustices done to humans will always rule. So I cry tears of praise and honor, respect and gratitude, grace and love to those wombs that have made their transition into the next world, and to those wombs that survived. A mother nut blessing. To all the wombs in the world, look up toward Nut, the heavenly sky mother, and listen well as she speaks from within you. I am Nut. I am the breath and the womb of the Creator Creatress. Put your trust in me. I, Mother Nut, pour down upon my daughters clouds of serenity. For today is a new day. It is your day. And on this day, I grant you, my daughters, another chance, a higher vision, another opportunity, a greater way, a second coming. Know this, my daughters, no matter how heavy or hurtful your womb life, I bore you with countless illuminating stars that dwell within your being. I planted within you a seed of womb enlightenment that will grow as you become more conscious of my presence within you. My beloved daughters, sit with me daily, and I will shine light upon your womb and give you peace. Womb rituals, meditations, affirmations, chants, and prayers. Release ritual to cleanse the womb. The release ritual to cleanse the womb of your soul is to be performed after or during your prayer work. Release helps us to purge both psychic and physical attacks on our wombs. Take a look at all your womb experiences as lessons. Trauma by trauma, your womb will begin to release the baggage that adds up to mental, spiritual, and physical disease. Write a journal letter to the people in your life who offended your womb in any way. If your letter includes self-forgiveness if you have brought any harm or pain to your womb consciously or unconsciously. Know that there comes a time when, to survive, we must let it all go. Pour your feelings onto the pages of your journal. For example, write, I, Barbara, release and let go of the pain Michael left inside my womb and my life. Wake up, shake off and out of your divine womb center the residue of anger or resentment you have stored up. Come on, just let it happen. Through 7 days of fasting and prayer and spiritual baths, release the emotional venom out of your womb, your body temple. If you are able to reach the person you have been hurt or offended by, then send them a release letter directly. My Womb by Queen Life, Cassandra Battle. I commit to heal myself. I commit to healing my womb, the womb that a nation generates, the womb that a nation penetrates by birth and birthing babies. Woman womb that we do create. the hard blows and trauma by what we ate, the dairy, the meats, the rape of your emotional, your physical being, the deed of you who enters my womb, my sugar wall, who I let enter in an angry state, creating havoc or the lustful pleasure I partake. And when the baby I kill, by choice to terminate, the cysts, the tumors, all from what I ate. Oh, womb, what a wretched state. We kiss, have mindless sex, which stimulates. Abuse, abuse, the womb accumulates. The down note blues, pain, sickness does not relate. Then all disorders will constipate. My womb communicates. Degrading, injected toxins suffocate. The womb from her agony expels the poisons. She regurgitates. Let's do spring cleaning, the doctor dictates. And the surgeons diligently wait. For the womb, the doctor says, too late. I fought for my womb to remain whole. Not a fraction will you take. Not too late, as the doctor states. I then turned to alternative medicine. Now I could relate, especially in my state. My womb cries out. I hurt, I ache, and screams the broken dreams, unloving relationships, family and men. I now flush down the tool, using the lever as my. I still flush down the stool, using the lever as my tool. I flush away all the waste. I take my time and not in haste. I vacate, eliminate, I clean, I cleanse, and I cleanse. I make love to my womb, I elevate. I say to my womb, I love you, womb. I say to my womb, rejuvenate. If for whatever reason you are not able to connect with the person, then once you have completed your writing ritual, burn the letter, perhaps with a little sage, and release your pent up emotions in spirit smoke. As the letter burns, pray that your release may be taken on wings of air and that freedom may be your destination. Then immediately go into nature, to the ocean or the forest, and sing, dance, shout, cry, stomp. Be the queen of your body temple. Allow your mind and spirit to be filled with a new world of revelation, self acceptance, and self healing. Working on your forgiveness or letting go ritual is not necessarily for the person you feel may have harmed you. What it really does is ensure your personal healing. When we release, we create room to draw out to ourselves the divine unions that are our birthright. The feather of Ma'at. We need to make sacred time every day to restore our inner balance and peace and to release everything that weighs down our heart and our womb and our spirit. One way to do this is to meditate with the feather of Ma'at, the symbol of truth, harmony, and balance. Think of the hours of 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. as the time of Nebhet. She is the lady of the house, the body temple, and she is the lady of the heavens, the celestial body. Nebhet also represents the spirit of intuition. At that hour, your melanin is pouring out, and you hear things that you could not hear during the day. You receive visions that you could not see later on, and you could connect with your dreams and receive messages. You begin to understand the depth of who you are, what you are, and why you are. It's at the hour of Nebhet that we drink pure water and herbal tea, such as red raspberry. It's at that hour that we take our healing bath. And it's at that hour that Nebhet will come and talk to us and answer us. To welcome her, we must eat lightly, to hold the light. If we're full of a dense, heavy dinner, we will not have the ears to hear. Let's celebrate that spirit. Let's walk with a feather. All womb wellness workers must have a feather in their medicine bags because your feather is going to be the quickest way to lighten up your heart. For illness happens when your heart becomes heavy. The ancient Kemites weighed the heart against a feather to determine the quality of one's soul. When your heart is heavy due to an accumulation of anger and pain and strife, it becomes imbalanced. And that's when tumors grow and cysts grow. And that's when you create 7 days of bleeding. When the heart is heavy day in and day out, year after year, it begins to accumulate upsets that you may not even be aware of. The body begins to be deeply imprinted with distress, and it becomes totally off balance. This is when the feather of Ma'at can bring us the clarity we need to restore our balance, inner and outer. Recently, I had put a feather on top of my head because I was in the spirit. But I had a business appointment that morning, and I got to wondering if it was okay to go to the appointment with my father. Could they handle this? Did I have to change my look to do business? I knew the person I was seeing quite well, and when I asked her if I should put away my feather, she said, "No, be who you really are." And then she took out her medicine bag, which every sacred woman must have. So my friend opens up her little medicine bag in corporate America, and she tells me to close my eyes. And she puts a little tiny feather in my hand. I almost passed out. I was in such a state of joy. It was the most miraculous thing. It was a blessing from Nebhet, for we cannot enter her house unless we come with the feather of Ma'at. This is because we have to come to all our decisions through balance, righteousness, truth, and harmony. Ma'at rules the lightness of the heart through the feather. We can check our heart daily when we come out of the bath. We don't have to walk through our day with a heavy heart. Ma'at feather meditation. To clear your heart, practice the following Ma'at feather meditation. Try it for just 1 week and see what opens up in your life. You may want to tape this meditation and play it as you relax and go deeper. Lie down in a quiet, sacred place where you will not be disturbed. Place a white feather over your womb, close your eyes, focus on your breath, and allow yourself to sleep deeper and deeper into a meditative state. Breathe in and out slowly as you become one with the lightness of the feather. Relax and let go of the stress and pressures of the world. Release all anxiety from your womb. As you continue to breathe deeply, let go of the pain from this life and all past lives. Allow your body to drift easily into a serene state of oneness with the divine spirit. You're becoming one with the feather, resting gently on your womb as you move deeper and deeper and deeper into that quiet, safe space. Feel peace and calm flow into you as your inner balance is restored and renewed. If you're in bed and the day is gone and the day is done, just slip off into a sweet sleep. If you're starting your day and you're ready to emerge from your Ma'at feather meditation into the active meditation we call life, bring your feather meditation to an end by breathing like the quietly rolling ocean deeply and fully. Then slowly and easily sit up and continue your ocean breathing. When you're ready, stand up, knowing that you are filled with light and clarity, and move into your day with the same quiet balance that you achieved during your Ma'at feather meditation. Breathing healing light into your womb meditation. This is another excellent meditation to do at the hour of Nebhet to clear, balance, and nurture the womb. Our wombs have been subjected to all kinds of trauma. We may have experienced emotional trauma. There may be vaginal discharges, clotting, cramping, and heavy menstruation. There may be physical tumors growing or removed, hysterectomies, difficult childbirth, cesarean sections, abusive sexual intercourse, abortion performed, history of scalpel or laser surgery or radiation therapy. As we do our daily womb meditation, we can release those traumas with breath, color visualizations, proper diet, and hands on healing. Sit comfortably in a chair or better. Sit on the floor with your legs crossed and your arms resting on your lap, or lie down flat on your back, whichever feels right to you. Begin to breathe deeply and slowly as you relax your face, chest, arms, hands, womb, hips, thighs, legs, and feet. Charge the energy in your hands by briskly rubbing them together until they're full of healing heat. Place your hands over your sacred womb and now be very still. Breathe deeply. Feel the warmth from your healing hands penetrating and filling your womb. Feel her relax. Continue to breathe deeply. Inhale slowly, visualizing light and peace and healing entering your womb as the air expands your abdomen and then your chest. Then exhale slowly, visualizing all emotional and physical toxins departing from your womb as your abdomen contracts and your lungs push out the remaining air. Repeat 10 to 20 times. Now use your breath to help feed healing colors into your womb. Use all the colors in the spectrum as color healing as color healing to charge, cleanse, and rejuvenate. Continue breathing in each successive color until your womb feels filled with that particular energy, and then move to the next color. While each color bathes your womb, say, "Womb, be still, be at peace." Slowly breathe into your womb the color white for cleansing. Now breathe in red, orange for power and energy. Next comes a deep shade of blue for peace. Breathe the color green into your womb for abundant wellness. Then breathe purple into your womb for spirituality, pink for divine, violet for high womb consciousness, then gold for prosperity. And finally, breathe a fine, clear yellow into your womb for the higher mind. Now recharge the energy in your hands and gently place them on your womb. Feel the peace, harmony, and well being that fill your sacred womb. Finally, as you continue your slow breathing, visualize the four elements of the natural world: fire, water, air, and earth, and invite them to come and heal your womb. As you did with the color visualizations, spend as much time as you need with each element as you visualize them healing, nurturing, loving, and bringing you harmony. First, visualize the sun emerging, energizing your womb. Next, experience the ocean washing and cleansing your womb. Feel the air caressing and bringing ease to your womb. Then feel the earth beneath you drawing out all the negativity from your womb. Now that you have completed your meditation and have arrived at a state of relaxation, you might want to do as many womb rejuvenation techniques as your body requires or your time permits. Whatever you do, just be good to yourself, not just at this moment when you're attuned, but later in the day when things get hectic, and day after day until your life becomes one endless meditation of peace, balance, and harmony, using chants and affirmations to support the womb. In addition to meditations and visualizations, try filling your womb with sacred words of wellness through daily chants and affirmations at sunrise and sunset. Feed positive thoughts, words, and attitudes into your womb throughout your day. Freely fill up your plate with these affirmations. You don't have to worry about gaining weight. As a matter of fact, if you consume enough of these affirmations, you're liable to lighten up your life. Through mental, spiritual, and physical reprogramming and cleansing, we can charge the direction of a lost womb. Let's begin by applying the affirmations I offer you as a guide to direct or redirect your ideas and conditions for a body, mind, and spiritual womb healing. If healing your womb is the desire of your heart, then speak words of power to your womb regularly. Speak with all the fervor and love and compassion needed to strengthen the sacred consciousness of your womb. Repeat as many of these affirmations as necessary to heal, recharge, and purify the spirit of your womb. As you speak these affirmations of empowerment, allow a flow of natural creativity to fill up your womb, to lift you up, and to inspire you to heal, to love, and to be a full woman, free. 21, 25 womb hezi chants. Chant your womb into wellness through these 25 hezi at sunrise and at sunset. Beat these and other positive affirmations into your womb throughout the day. My womb is sacred, and so is my life. My womb is precious, and so is my life. My womb is divine, and so is my life. My womb is love, and so is my life. My womb is whole, and so is my life. My womb is free, and so is my life. My womb is radiant, and so is my life. My womb is light, and so is my life. My womb is great, it is good, and so is my life. My womb is celestial, and so is my life. My womb is peace, and so is my life. My womb is bliss, and so is my life. My womb is bright, and so is my life. My womb is natural, and so is my life. My womb is liberated, and so is my life. My womb is full of energy, and so is my life. My womb is pure, and so is my life. My womb is in tune, and so is my life. My womb is all powerful, and so is my life. My womb is the seat of my creativity, and so is my life. My womb is full, and so is my life. My womb is filled with prayer, and so is my life. My womb is a dynamic force, and so is my life. My womb is holy, and so is my life. My womb is the gateway to heaven here on earth, and so is my life. Sound, chanting womb. Sound helps to harmonize the body, mind, and spirit. Sit quietly in a meditative pose in your sacred space, palms facing up. Breathe slowly in and out, coming back to your center and relaxing, going deeper each time. Now chant womb twice. Chant as if you were chanting or unk, but use the sound of the word womb. Now relax and inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to exhale the sound womb. Again, exhale. Find your note, your harmony if you're in a sacred circle, and chant womb. Chant the sound womb and let it vibrate over your womb as you open up and relax even more deeply. Place your mind and sound right over your womb. Visualize the color of vitality, red or orange, which represent Ra, the sun. Send the sound of womb and the color of the sun into your womb to help to resurrect her. Bring forth the sun from within your womb with color and sound and breath. Inhale, chant womb. Now you're going to baptize your womb with the color of serenity because we carry so much stress in our wombs and our hearts and our minds. Visualize a rich, deep blue as the blue ocean for serenity. Chant womb, and as you vibrate with the sound, visualize the blue of the ocean filling your womb with serenity. Inhale, exhale, chant womb. We also want to work with light. So now you're going to illuminate your womb with light. As you inhale, visualize white light all around your womb. Chant womb. Let the sound go as high as your voice can reach, because when you welcome the height of the sound, then the womb energy goes up. So shift your voice from an alto to a soprano. Visualize white light filling your womb. Inhale, exhale, chant womb. Womb wisdom wellness is here and present, and we're here to defend, support, and uplift the spirit of our womb so that we are free to create and birth divine ideas, divine energy, divine creativity, and divine children onto this planet. The resurrection of our wombs is the resurrection of planet Earth. The Earth's womb has been violated, just as our wombs have been denied and forced into disharmony. But as we heal our wombs, we will also heal the womb of our Mother Earth. A womb song. Sound coupled with breath can heal. The ringing of your voices in melodic tones inside your body temple can put your arita chakras into a state of ma'at. Feel free to be creative and sing your own womb song. Observe as your womb becomes more attuned and harmonious. Womb purification ritual and prayer. Here is a ritual exercise for intense spiritual purification of your sacred womb. Place a small round disc of charcoal used for smudging, available in botanicas, in a cast iron or another fireproof pot. Let the charcoal disc, and when it is hot, light the charcoal disc, and when it is hot, sprinkle a handful of rock, frankincense, and myrrh onto it. Place the pot on the floor, on a stand, or on a metal trivet so you don't burn the floor. Spread your legs and stand over the pot of frankincense and myrrh, as ancient Kemetic women used to do. As it smokes away all the negative vibrations, add a pinch of cinnamon to the charcoal to sweeten your womb. If you need further blessings, protection, and cleansing, anoint your outer womb with the oil of or essence of frankincense and myrrh, lavender or sage. You may follow the Master Gateway chart on pages 130 to 135 to choose your anointing oils. Also, the crown of your head and your heart arit for high thoughts and a pure heart. Recite the womb prayer given here or your own affirmations. Creator, creatress, I open my womb to thee for healing. I release all disappointment, tumors, infections, pain, resentment, PMS, hurt, and sadness. My prayer request is for a healthy, whole womb. And unfortunately, y'all, I'm really sorry, but I'm not able to finish because I got to leave and go to class. But that will conclude chapter 3. And maybe on the next one, on the next Mastermind Library, I'll start with that. I'll start with where I left off. All right, y'all take care and have a fantastic day.